computer. All right. Yeah, let's kick it off whenever you want, bro.
All right. So, welcome everybody that's out here that's watching this call anywhere in the world. I know that you guys might be watching this either live or you will be watching this recorded. So, I just want to go ahead and before we get started, I want to go ahead and welcome you guys in and explain to you guys who's going to basically be throwing down our presentation for us tonight. And so, without further ado, I am Isaiah. I'm going to introduce myself as well. I'm Isaiah Conaway, and so you guys will hear from Darren Fryer, the legend, the myth, the legend, Darren Fryer out in Hawaii. And so Darren I've known for about over a decade now. And so I remember the days when Darren launched his business and he was making about 30 plus $1,000 at 21 years old. And he moved on from that business and cleared about $1 million within 10 years of his next project. And so he's moved on now to, and still is involved with that project, but moved on now to a new project that he's more focused on and is going to be launching and 100% all in on. And so I just want to go ahead and toss it over to Darren as he's going to throw down his presentation for us tonight and get us all started and let you guys know what we're working on and what we're pretty excited about, you guys. So without further ado, Darren Fryer, you there, man?
Yes, sir. Appreciate the introduction, Isaiah. And yeah, thank you to everyone tuning in live, watching the recording, no matter where you are, when it is. We appreciate your time. We're going to get right to the point, give you a very straightforward breakdown of this company, OlyLife. Our team within OlyLife is called Oly Nation. We're the ones helping bring this company from Asia into the United States, into Canada, Australia, Europe, and the English market. So we are blessed and highly favored to be in this position. And yeah, I'm just going to get right into it. As Isaiah was saying, I'm still involved in my older company. It's been saturated, it's been around. And, I just see the opportunity with the timing of this business, as well as the power of these products. This is a newer business. It's a newer company, which means it's a newer technology. The other company I've worked in has been around for about half a century, so it's still very powerful, but this thing is on a whole nother level. And, we're going to just show you guys so you could understand why that is. So the first thing I want to start with is a quote by one of my favorite, scientists that have ever existed, Nikola Tesla. He has this quote that I've always known, but I never really understood how to apply this knowledge. If you wish to understand the universe, think of energy, frequency, and vibration. Our entire biological system, the brain, and the earth itself work on the same frequencies. So this was a direct quote by Nikola Tesla, basically the founding father of energy, electricity. I mean, some of his credits got taken away by other people, but Nikola Tesla is definitely one of the brightest, smartest minds of our generation. He's up there with Albert Einstein as one of the brightest humans to ever exist. And he would not say this quote for no reason, guys. And, as I was saying earlier, to know something is different than from being able to apply something that you know. So we're excited to show you guys this company, OlyLife, because these products allow you to apply these quotes and this knowledge from Nikola Tesla himself into your day-to-day life, so you guys can benefit from this type of information. So let's break down a little bit about OlyLife so you guys know where this company is coming from. OlyLife was founded in 2022 in Singapore. They had research and development facilities in Sweden and Germany. They get all of their chips and rare metals from Japan, so only the only places in the world to get these types of materials, and they assemble these machines in Hong Kong. So OlyLife started about 4 years ago, because it's 2026 right now. They expanded into Singapore, Malaysia, and Taiwan very quickly, and within their second year, by the end of their second year in business, they did over $1 billion in sales amongst those three Asian countries. So it blew up very quick. And then over the last several months, so in the middle of 2025, they started transitioning to the English markets. translating the company into English, translating all the patents. As you see on this PowerPoint slide, it said over 167 global patents. That was the number as of like probably several months to a year ago. From what I know right now, our company has close to 800 patents amongst all of their different products. So, these guys aren't here to mess around. Every product they make is there to dominate the market, dominate the space. They get every patent they possibly can. Most of our flagship products actually have about 100 patents on each of the products. Like, that's how powerful this technology is. The company has headquarters in Singapore, Xiamen, China, where we actually have some of our business partners in Xiamen right now. Touring the facilities they manufacture these devices. They're actually meeting the founder and the owner. They also have offices in Malaysia, Thailand, Indonesia, Hong Kong. And we have one in Los Angeles, California, that's stated to launch sometime this summer, towards the end of the year. So the company's expanding, but we're some of the first people in the United States to have access to these machines. And yeah, company's design, it's basically a research and development company here to create these powerful electronic wellness devices to help people with their health. So part of the reason it blew up in Asia so fast was they had a lot of the Olympic athletes out there promoting and using these products for their recovery, for their performance, for their competitions. And as we know, Asia is very ahead of the world in terms of health. The United States, where we are, is actually some of the worst in terms of the health-wise countries. So Asia is very ahead of the curve. They had their professional athletes and Olympians using this device, which caused it to blow up very quickly. We've already gotten a lot of very famous professional surfers and UFC fighters, and we're starting to get a lot of famous athletes and Olympians here in the United States involved. So stay tuned, because we'll have a different slide very soon with a lot of names you guys will definitely be recognizing. So within the first 3 years, OlyLife became a top 15 global direct sales company. They were doing about $83 million a month. And this was a little over a year ago when they got these stats. So we're definitely doing well over 100 million a month, and that's majority in Asia. The first 2.5 years the company was around, they created over 200 millionaires. I'm sure there's well over 300 of them now, and this has barely even touched the US market, where there'll probably be another 500 to 1,000 millionaires created in the next few years. Myself, Isaiah, and a lot of our team will be part of that, and you guys are more than welcome to tap in. The company started with shipping to 150 plus countries. So the owner really wanted to get this product out there. Most companies will start with like one country at a time. This dude's on a different level. He decided to launch this company with it being able to ship to over 150 countries around the world. Obviously, most of these machines have been shipped to Asia, but they're starting to expand all over the US, to the Caribbean, to Australia, Canada, and soon Europe as well. So we get to be on the forefront of that global expansion out of Asia. So we have all the certifications you can trust. Documentation beats conversation, as you guys might already know. Our company has all the certifications and approvals that you need. 800 plus patents. They have the FDA approval, which is important for here in the US. They have the approvals to be able to legally sell this product all over the world in all of the 150 plus countries that we ship to. So these guys make sure they do everything right. And it also makes sure that we have a safe and high quality product that we're able to use and we're able to help people get plugged in with. So we have all the certifications to back up everything that we're doing. So let's break into why we're excited to expand this into America. Okay, the US is obviously the largest consumer market in the world. They make up almost 40 to 50% of the entire network marketing and direct sales industry. And we're one of the most unhealthy countries on the planet. So we have what's called the North American wellness crisis. 42% of Americans are obese medically. Physical inactivities contributing to 1 in 10 premature deaths globally. And on average, Americans spend about 9 to 10 hours a day sitting in their cars, on their computers, at their desk, which causes bad circulation, bad blood flow, all types of health issues that end up being the root cause of cardiovascular issues, back problems, and certain metabolic diseases. So North America, even though we have a lot of money, We also have a lot of toxins in our food. We have a lot of people living a sedentary lifestyle where they aren't active. So, Americans need this technology the most. So we're excited to bring this to the market. From what we know, this is January 2026 right now, as I'm giving you guys these numbers. I've heard we have about 8,000 of our OlyLife PEMF devices in the United States, Canada, and Australia combined. Less than 10,000 devices at this current point, January 2026. The company decided to launch the US with Hawaii first. So out of those 8,000 devices amongst those three countries, about 80 to 90% of them are in Hawaii, because that's where the company branched into the US from Asia to Hawaii. And now it's starting to spread outside of Hawaii to the continental US, to Canada, to Australia, New Zealand, and every other country outside of that. So our company is leveraging technology that's existed for many, many, many decades. The technology is called PEMF and terahertz. PEMF stands for pulsed electromagnetic field therapy, and terahertz is a different wavelength and frequency that the machines produce. So these frequencies are natural frequencies that the earth produces on its own. A lot of us just aren't earthing and standing barefoot on the beach or on the grass. If we are, we're surrounded by electromagnetic radiation from all the Wi-Fi devices, cell phone towers, power lines. So we don't get that same connection to the earth our ancestors have had for several and hundreds of generations before us. So this technology will help activate and revitalize your cells. It promotes a meridian flow through your body, causes your cells to detox on a cellular level, enhances microcirculation and metabolism, burns calories actually when you use these devices. So it's good for fat burning and body sculpting. And one of the most powerful benefits we've seen is the amount of support it provides for pain, inflammation, and fatigue relief. This technology is completely natural, non-invasive, and safe, but is by far one of the most powerful holistic forms of pain management and regeneration that we've ever witnessed and I've ever seen myself firsthand. So we're excited to bring this scientifically backed technology to you guys. This technology actually was invented by NASA in 1979. So they were sending astronauts into orbit, and the astronauts were losing bone density and their muscles were falling apart. And they were giving these astronauts the best water, the best food, the best oxygen. We've all seen videos of astronauts literally exercising in zero gravity. Like, they're doing everything they can to keep these astronauts healthy. Is one of the few variables you can control with space travel, is making sure the astronaut stays healthy. But they could not figure out why their health kept degenerating in zero gravity environment. So they had to hire a doctor. The doctor's name was Dr. Schumann, to help figure out what were keeping these astronauts from staying healthy. And he realized that the Earth has a geomagnetic electrical field around it. There's actually over 10 million lightning strikes a day happening all across our planet. It creates an electromagnetic geofield on the earth that our bodies are attuned to. Our cells, the voltage of our mitochondria and our white blood cells are tuned to this natural frequency of planet Earth, which Dr. Schumann discovered it. It's a frequency at 7.83 hertz, and they actually named that frequency after Dr. Schumann. So it's known as the Schumann resonance. I highly recommend you guys do your own deep dive on it. Look it up on AI, ChatGPT. The Schumann resonance has been around since he's discovered it in 1979 on behalf of NASA. So he created a machine that's able to pump out this frequency that the Earth produces, that Schumann resonance frequency. They were able to put them into machines and put those machines in the astronaut spaceship. So when they would go up into orbit, miles and miles away from the Earth's magnetic field, they were still able to have those frequencies to keep their cells and their body healthy. And they no longer saw that type of degeneration of their bones and their muscles while they were in orbit. Okay, so that's basically where this technology came from. There's over 10,000 published medical studies done on PEMF as well as terahertz. You guys can go see it for yourself. This stuff has been medically studied and documented for literally half a century. The machines were just too expensive and weren't accessible to the public. They were only accessible really to astronauts, billionaires, and super high level athletes that had the money to utilize these giant room sized machines back in the day. But that's kind of what the PEMF does. Encourages cell repair, regeneration, supports healthy circulation, assists with the detox, some of the things we were covered, as well as bone health, nerve function, literally everything your body's trying to do naturally on 1% battery. This is like an earthing supercharger for your body and your cells. So it came from NASA. It's good enough for the astronauts to use. It's good enough for us to use. So, if you guys are familiar, it was a couple years ago from today, I believe 2024, 2023. We had astronauts that were actually stuck in the USS space station. They had some issue happen to where they weren't able to come back to Earth. They had to stay up there for several months longer than expected, until Elon Musk actually sent one of his SpaceX rockets up to the USS space station to rescue these astronauts. But if you guys remember seeing the clips of them being rescued, which I have the photos here on the slide, when they got rescued by those SpaceX rockets, they did not come running off of the plane. They literally could not walk off of those spaceships when they got rescued and brought back to Earth. They had to get carried off on stretchers, on wheelchairs, and on carts. Why is that? Because they were in space for longer than expected, they had to conserve their batteries and their electricity, because obviously they need oxygen and light and water to stay alive. So they actually had to turn off their PEMF machines for multiple months while they were up there waiting to get rescued, because they had to conserve energy of the space station because they were up for longer than expected. So they actually had to be up there without any PEMF, without any pulsed electromagnetic field therapy. And just in a matter of 2 to 3 months of being that far away from Earth's geomagnetic fields, still drinking the best water, eating the best food, nutrition, and exercising, they literally could not walk off of that spaceship. If you offered them $10 billion, they wouldn't have been able to walk off of that. And that was because they didn't have PEMF for multiple months in space. So that's just an example of how well this technology works. And how powerful it is, especially if you're traveling, you're flying, you're going up into orbit anytime soon. Want to make sure you have PEMF. So let's go into the evolution of the technology. So before PEMF, something we're all familiar with, whether we know it or not, is EMF, electromagnetic frequency, which is also considered radiation, electromagnetic radiation. So this is electromagnetic fields introduced through the communication wireless networks that we're surrounded by every day. Radio, the power lines, our 5G cell phones, the Wi-Fi routers, all of this electromagnetic frequency that's creating these wireless communication networks are passing through our bodies and passing through our cells at every moment of every day. Unless you live out in the jungle, you're out in Costa Rica or something in the national forest, we're getting penetrated by these electromagnetic frequencies every single day. These are not healthy frequencies for our body. These are the opposite. So this throws our alignment, our voltage, the frequency of our cells and body out of whack. We still don't even know the negative repercussions of what this is doing to us because our parents didn't have this around them. Our grandparents didn't have this around them. This is really from like the 2000s and on, when wireless communication became a global widespread thing, especially here in America in first world countries. So EMF was brought together in the early 20th century. Mid to late 20th century, people started realizing that having AirPods on isn't good because you're basically microwave radiationing your brain, which is why I don't even use wireless headphones. I still use these bad boys. So people are starting to be aware of the negative effects of EMF. As I was saying earlier, 1970s, PEMF was discovered, for NASA. They invented it. And then in the early 2000s, PEMF started going into high-end wellness facilities where these machines were about as much as a hyperbaric chamber. They would cost $50,000 to $500,000 for a machine. They would be the size of a whole entire room. And it wasn't something the average person can do. Like if you really needed it, you could probably pay $500 to $1,000 for a 30-minute session, and then they'll want you to come back multiple times a day, multiple times a week for multiple weeks. So obviously that's an expensive bill. and that's not something the average person could have access to. So early 2022, OlyLife decided to invent the cutting edge PEMF devices that they created for consumer use to make this technology accessible to the public, to make it affordable, portable, and convenient for anyone to be able to use in their household, to share with their family members, their roommates, and their friends who are also suffering. And this technology has already been proven. It's just the first time we've had access to it in the consumer standpoint. So OlyLife went out there and reverse engineered and was able to create this machine in an affordable and portable manner for you guys to all have access to, which is why now you are learning about it. Even though this has been around for decades and decades, there was no reason to know about it because you probably wouldn't have been able to go and find a machine or even afford to use a machine. Now, these machines cost less than an iPhone costs, and it does the exact opposite of an iPhone, which is, producing positive frequencies for your health and body. So aside from PEMF, which is the Schumann resonance earthing frequency, the machines also produce terahertz. Terahertz is a different frequency between infrared and microwave radiation, totally safe. There's been thousands of studies done on terahertz. It's a newer frequency. There's a lot of attention right now on terahertz. And it's a different wavelength that actually penetrates deeper into your skin, activates cellular energy, improves blood flow. And we've seen a lot of support in terms of fighting cancer and nerve function and all types of things. So our machines are some of the only ones I've ever seen that do both PEMF and terahertz. So it's pumping both of these frequencies through your body. They work in sync with each other, and they become much more powerful when they're working harmoniously together. So, that's what makes our machines different and powerful, is it's PEMF and terahertz frequencies simultaneously getting pumped into your body from your feet. So OlyLife is here to be essentially the Apple of electronic wellness devices. Okay, so they've been able to package this technology, PEMF and terahertz, into different products that are convenient and just very practical for everyday life for all of us, watching this. Their main machines are the P90 Plus, which was the older flagship model you'll see on the top left. And then in the bottom center, they have the new flagship model called the P90 Plus. They also have what's called the Galaxy goggles, which does PEMF for your eye and brain health. It actually does a low frequency PEMF, so it's safe for eyes and brain. They have a pretty powerful air filter, hydrogen water bottle, and the Vitality wand is something really powerful too. It does a long wave frequency, so it actually penetrates deeper into your skin. It blows hot air, pressurized hot air at the same time, which actually helps it go deeper into your body for those deeper issues under your bones, under your shoulder blades, deep in your spine. The Vitality wand is a very cool, powerful product as well. And they have many more that are coming out. Like, this company is here to be the Apple of electronic wellness. So they're going to make all types of electronic devices designed to support your health and your vitality. So yeah, we got all these different products. They're all designed for home use. You could literally, the main flagship product, P90, P90 Plus, you just set it down in front of your couch. You rest your feet on it for 20 to 30 minutes while you're watching TV, while you're reading a book, while you're legit, you could be laying back on the couch and taking a nap. The eye goggles, you just put onto your eyes for 20 minutes a day, and it just runs a massage and PEMF for your eyes and brain. Very easy to use these things at home, and they're very portable. They don't take up a lot of space, and they're very easy to travel with. So that's basically the different products. As I was saying, P90 and the P90 Plus are our two main flagship devices. These are the most powerful. You place your feet on the devices, it pumps the frequencies up and down your entire body. You could literally put a light bulb, like a LED light bulb, onto your skin while your feet are on it, and the light bulb will turn on. That's how much energy it pushes through your body. And yeah, it just supports recovery, supports regeneration, whether you have chronic pain, whether you have an injury you're recovering from, or you're just healthy and you love biohacking and mental clarity and energy and preventing any type of injury. This is here to support all of that. Obviously right now in Hawaii, most of the people doing this are our kapunas, which are just Hawaiian for our elders. These are people that have dealt with chronic pain for years or decades of their life, and they did one session on these machines these machines and they felt their pain go away in a way that they've never felt for decades. And it's incredibly powerful, especially for how natural and safe it is. Much better than invasive surgeries or popping more drugs and pharmaceuticals, which is what our medical world tends to push on us here in the US, which is the opposite of Asia. And then the eye strain crisis, in terms of the goggles, people don't realize how much work our eyes are doing that our parents and their parents have never dealt with. We are staring at screens all day long, screens in our cars, screens on our phones, screens on our laptops, our iPads, our televisions. We're like flooding our eyes with this blue light that our ancestors never had that much exposure. They just had sunlight and candlelight. Now we have fluorescent lights and blue lights from all our technology. This is causing a lot of eye issues. And we're actually seeing a lot of kids in Asia who are probably growing up on iPads 12 hours a day are having myopia. 8 out of 10 kids in Singapore and Malaysia are getting diagnosed with myopia before they're even 18 years old. So there's a lot of overexposure to this blue light. So that G1 Galaxy goggles, people don't realize how important that really is. I mean, it helps people with migraines and headaches and helps people go to sleep, but it's also important to give your eyes that PEMF and your brain that PEMF, just to help your eyes handle all of this blue light exposure and eye strain that we're all dealing with. So that's basically the Galaxy massager. Does a nice heat compressed massage as well, which is very relaxing. I've had a lot of friends tell me it's helped them with grinding their teeth at night or TMJ just because it releases so much tension and pressure. But the massage is more so a bonus feature. The main reason to have this is that slow frequency PEMF for your eyes and your brain. And then we have the new product that just came out December 2025. So it's been out for about a month. I actually just got mine in the mail the other day. I got another one already open, so I haven't even opened this new one yet, but it's called the Shaken Massager. So this product is very powerful, a little bit different than the other products. This thing's targeted more so at weight loss, but in a very futuristic way. So this is 7 integrated technologies in one. Of course, it's using PEMF, so it's using pulse electromagnetic field therapy. It does a dynamic massage. There's red lights on it, which helps with skin. There's radio frequency, which helps with tightening the skin and collagen production. It has vibration, heat, and then the last thing is it does ultrasound. So 7 things in one. You put this belt around your stomach or waist, and then you could flip it around, have it on your lower back. And it targets and attacks the visceral fat, which is the toxic, unhealthy fat that lines your internal organs that end up releasing toxins into your bloodstream. So visceral fat, some of the hardest fat to get rid of. It's also the most toxic fat you can have in your body. So this device is designed to target it with all 7 of those technologies at once. I mean, PEMF, radio frequency, and ultrasound would by far be the 3 most powerful. But yeah, this device you put onto your stomach, it burns around 500 plus calories in 20 minutes, and it attacks and burns that visceral fat. So then once you do this, you hop on a P90 plus, and you use the device for 20 minutes. That creates that detox of your cells and blood circulation. So this machine burns the visceral fat. The P90 plus helps you flush all that toxic fat out of your system. So this, we've heard some pretty powerful testimonies, and you guys, I'm sure, will be hearing many more of people losing inches off their waist in a matter of weeks by using this device. So very, very powerful product. And the side effect is helping a lot of people with stomach cramps, stomach pain, lower back pain, just because you're getting that localized targeted PEMF, but this device is designed for weight loss. Okay, so let's keep moving. So that's pretty much the products of the company and the technology. Now I'm going to do a little brief overview of the business because they decided to make this company direct sales. They wanted word of mouth advertising, which is the best form of advertisement for any product. When someone like trust tells you about an experience they had with something, that's the best form of marketing. And they know these products work so well. Once someone has it, it's going to change their life and help them tremendously. They're going to naturally go out there and tell people about it, whether they get paid or not. So they decided to make sure we get paid for doing that. So we can actually help people get involved with this global business. All you have to do is buy $1,000 a product and you're in, you get an ID number and you get a spot in the genealogy, and you have a lifelong global business being able to share OlyLife and these products with people all around the world. The only place people can buy these products are through distributors like ourselves, like me and Isaiah and our team. So when you buy $1,000 a product, you become a distributor, and it's a one-time purchase, and you get to be a part of this business for the rest of your life. There's no subscription, there's no monthly, no annually, there's no extra fee. You literally just buy the product for yourself, $1,000 a product or more. They give you this business free of charge that you can then build anytime, anywhere for the rest of your life. The product can be used by your whole family. It's not just a product for you to use. Anybody can use it. They ship to 150 countries, no auto ship. They actually pay you daily. So, you make a sale today, tomorrow you'll have those commissions in your e-wallet. And yeah, just high quality retention because this product works so well. It's demonstratable. People can feel it working and they feel benefits after one session. And it is not a big lifestyle change for someone to buy this product and start using it every day. So those three things make this a knock out of the park. And then the timing, being some of the first people in the United States, or really the first people in the English language to know about OlyLife and this technology, is a huge advantage. My mentors always told me the T in timing is more valuable than the T in talent. Of course, if you guys have talent, pair that with the timing and it's a grand slam. But even if you guys don't have a lot of experience with sales and marketing, just getting involved with this at the right time could be a game changer for you, because literally we're the first people to know about it. We're the first people to have these machines. So first movers advantage is a huge advantage in this type of company. The other company I was in, I saw my mentors be the first ones to bring it into the US from Japan about 30 years ago. And they've made millions of dollars for 3 decades because they were the first people to basically launch the country. And their income's getting passed down in their will to their kids and their grandchildren, and their family and future family are set for life because they got into a powerful business like this at the right time. So there's different ways to come in. Obviously, just getting $1,000 a product is the bare minimum. It gets you entry-level access to earnings. You could always reinvest commissions, buy more product, upgrade your account, but you're basically qualifying yourself to make more money off the compensation plan. As you spend $2,000 a product, or eventually $6,000 a product accumulative through your account, it opens up different levels of the comp plan, which I'll be showing you guys in the next few slides. As I said, no joining fee, no subscription. You're active forever after one-time purchase. You're able to build an international team, and there is residual income with this. There is a global pool bonus where the company sets 5% of global revenue aside, and then as you earn shares in this company through building the business, you actually get that residual yearly payout for life, and that is something that you can then put into your will, pass on to your kids and grandchildren one day. So OlyLife, as I told you earlier, hit the market by storm. Doing $1 billion in sales in its first 2 years in Asia is pretty unheard of. And just wait to see how fast we do $1 billion in sales in the US. We're just right at that start of the explosive growth phase. I was telling Isaiah earlier, if we had hopped in 6 months ago, the company was figuring out shipping. They were figuring out payment processors. It was taking 4 to 8 weeks to get products shipped. Now products are shipping and getting to people in less than a week. Payments are immediately, commissions are immediate. And yeah, they've figured everything out very quickly. And now we're at that phase where it's just, we're about to put in millions of other customers and distributors into this company amongst America, Canada, and the US. So we're right at the start of that explosive growth phase. Best time to get involved. It's a binary. You get a lot of spillover and momentum. We all kind of rise together. This isn't a business where you're just building this by yourself. There's a really cool bonus that caught my eye because I've never seen any company in this industry do anything like this. They have what's called the team bonus. So this was what made me understand that these guys are different. You actually get paid from what your upline does. If you know this industry, there's really never been a company where you get paid based on the person who brought you in or the person above you. It's usually the opposite, which it is mostly the opposite for here, but they do have this bonus where if you start with $1,000 a product, say you get signed up directly placed under Isaiah. Okay, you're actually going to make 5% of what Isaiah makes, even though he's above you. You're going to make 5% of what Isaiah makes. So say Isaiah goes out there and makes $10,000. You're going to make 5% of that. So you'll make $500 off of Isaiah. You know, the only catch with this is you could only earn up to 3 times your initial package you come into the company with. So if you started at $1,000, the max that you could earn from this team bonus based off of Isaiah making, you know, probably making $60,000, and then 5% of that would be $3,000. Then it'll basically cap you out. It'll compress you and pay the 5% to the person below you. So this bonus, you can only make up to 3 times what your initial package you came into the company with. But this is money that's coming to you completely passive from the person that you're placed directly underneath and their work. So obviously depends who you're under. You know, that 3x investment might come to you in a couple of weeks, might be a couple of months, might be a year. But it's just bonus money you're getting to help you pay off your machine, to help you make a few thousand in profits. So it's pretty powerful. You're able to get paid off of what the person above you is doing. This bonus is actually designed to motivate a lot of people who might not have ever made money in the industry. They can make money off of this and get confidence to start building the business. So you could actually wake up a lot of your teammates and customers into being business builders, because they'll start to notice money flowing in from the team bonus. And that makes them realize that, hey, you know, I can make some money with this business model. And, you know, they start going out there tapping into the other sources of income. So this is a very straightforward bonus called the performance bonus, also known as a fast start or direct sales bonus. So PV stands for point value or product volume. So if you sell $1,000 of product, which is the P90, that's going to be 750 PV. So 75% of the price is the volume. So if you buy a $1,000 product, the volume of that is 750 PV. So say you go and refer someone to a P90 for $1,000, that's going to be the PV of 750, in which you'll earn 10% commission off that PV, which is where you'll earn $75 in the performance bonus. So if you sold someone $2,000 of product, that's 1,500 PV. You would be making 10% commission off of that PV, which would be a $150 fast start bonus. So this is just an upfront bonus from people you personally sell machines to, that you get that money and it's paid out daily. So the next day you'll have that sitting in your e-wallet. You could withdraw it, or you could actually reinvest it into other machines, whatever you want to do. So that's the performance bonus and the team bonus. Next up, we got the tier bonus. This is by far the most powerful bonus in the comp plan, at least initially when you're getting started. This bonus will help you make all your money back. It'll help you make your first $5,000 or $10,000 in commissions and really set you up for success with this company. So the tier bonus is based on, you know, it's a 2-legged system, also known as a binary. So when sales get placed under you, whether you sign them up or whoever brought you in signs up more people, they're going to have to place people underneath you. And when you have a sale on your left leg and a sale on your right leg, you'll make what's called a tier bonus, which will pay you additionally $375 if those were just $1,000 machines. Most people in America are buying $2,000 of product when they start. They're getting the P90 Plus and the goggles, or the P90 Plus and the wand, or the shaken. So for those, tier bonuses are actually double $375. So the tier bonus would be $750 if you had a $2,000 purchase on your left and a $2,000 purchase on your right. Doesn't matter if you personally brought them in or someone else brought them in. You'll make that tier bonus of $375 to $750, depending on what packages those people got in on. If they did get in on the 1,000 and they end up upgrading and buying more products, you can make an additional tier bonus off of that same level. So say A and B, as you see on this slide, they came in on $1,000 of product. You made a 375 tier bonus. Let's say those two people end up upgrading and getting shaken massagers. Now their accounts are at the 2K level. So you'll make an additional 375 off of that same level of A and B directly to you. So this bonus is powerful because it goes down infinite. And it does not require these sales to be people you've personally brought in. So whether I place them under you, Isaiah places them under you, or someone you sign up starts bringing in their network and friends and family, you will get tier bonuses on every level. And I drew this out for Isaiah and some of his teammates earlier, and it's easy when you can understand it drawn out, which we could do for you guys if you do want a deep dive. But the tier bonus, incredibly powerful part of the comp plan. This is where a lot of the money's loaded up on the front end. As you see, if you can make $2,000 sales, you're getting $750 tier bonuses, $150 fast start bonuses. I mean, you can make your money back and make your first 5 or 10 grand very quickly with this bonus. And us and whoever brought you in will make sure that you understand how to place everything correctly so you can maximize this bonus and really get your money back and get into profit as fast as possible. So yeah, this is just more about the tier bonus. Like I said, volume doesn't flush, unlimited levels, no country restriction. These sales can be in Asia, Australia, Finland, Denmark, Antarctica. It doesn't matter. Volume is volume. You'll get that tier bonus off of each level for every first left and first right. So as you can see, the tier bonus scales, as I was saying, 2,000 left, 2,000 right, it makes it a $750 tier bonus. If people come in on 6 grand, 6 grand, then you're getting a $2,250 tier bonus. So it scales based on the packages. And like I said, if they upgrade, you can then get more tier bonuses off of past levels. When those older sales start to reinvest and buy more machines from OlyLife, you'll get another tier bonus off of that level you might have already earned a tier bonus off of. So the next thing is the group sales bonus. It's also known as the binary. So volume is never flushed, even without activity. And you can essentially make anywhere from 11% to 13% of the volume coming in on your weaker leg. So say one leg, your left leg's booming, your right leg's a little smaller. You know, the group sales bonus, which doesn't really start until after level 4. So after 4 generations in your organization, you can start to earn a daily income off of the binary or the group sales bonus. It does cap out at $210,000 a month with this bonus. But this is something that's going to come into play as you're helping your team get tier bonuses. Things start to duplicate, volumes growing on both legs. This is going to provide a very powerful income for you guys at a higher level, when you're more in a leadership role. And then we got the global pool bonus. This was something I mentioned earlier. This is where you can get residual income from the company. So when you hit a rank, so the first rank is M1, it's basically having 10,000 volume PV on your left and 10,000 PV on your right, which let's just keep it simple, $2,000 packages all around, so 1,500 PV. That's more or less seven people on each side. In this slide, it says 14 on each side because they're talking about the $1,000 package, which is 750 PV. So you would need about 400 times 750 to equate a little bit over that 10,000 point mark. But when you have that volume, you actually get a share in the company's global pool, where 5% of global revenue from the company is set aside into a pool and paid out to all the people who have shares. So you can get your first share very quickly. I got mine in a few weeks. Isaiah's probably a week or two from his first share. And as you hit different ranks and help your team hit ranks, you get more shares. You get 2 shares, 4 shares, 10 shares, 20 shares. As you hit M2, M3, M4, M5, and all of that's just based off of team volume on your left and right leg. But yeah, this is a powerful form of residual income. It's basically like earning shares in this company and getting a dividend at the end of every year for life, which is a private company, so you can't buy shares. You can only earn them by building the business with us. And the only requirement to stay active for that yearly payout is to make 1 sale per year. And then even if you have to sell yourself the machine and give someone a Christmas gift, you will earn much more off of that global pool. So it's very easy to stay active. And this is a yearly bonus that you will get for life. And obviously, as our company grows to the billions, they want to be the Apple of electronic wellness. So eventually it hits the trillions. 5% of that global annual revenue is going into this global pool and getting divided up amongst all the distributors who have earned shares in this pool bonus. So this is very powerful. And this kind of shows you the different ranks. So M1, this is based on $1,000 packages. So, 14 people on your left, 14 on your right, your M1. 134 on each side, 670 on each side, 1300 on each side. I mean, this is growing as your team grows. It's not all your personal efforts. This is just like the ripple effect and the domino effect of bringing people into this company and just letting it kind of take off on its own life. Our upline that we're working with, Brian, he hit the M7 rank in about 3 or 4 years in Taiwan. Okay, he came into OlyLife 2022, brought it to Taiwan, was one of the first people in that country to have this product, signed up and sold 5 of his business partners the machines. Those 5 people have turned into 400,000 people in the last 2 to 3 years. Now he's an M7, clearing 7 figures per month in income from this company, and that's still just the beginning for him. But yeah, that's just the potential of being early in a company, in a country, is you're starting that wave, and you don't know where that wave is going to take you, but it's going to take you nowhere but good places. And then the last bonus is called the coaching bonus. You might already know about this in terms of a check match bonus. So, there's no limit to how much you can make on this. Basically, the coaching bonus, you earn 10% off the binary. So that team bonus that I was showing you after the tier bonus, when you personally sign someone up, so say I bring in Isaiah, I'm going to earn 10% of what he makes on the binary bonus for the rest of my life. So if Isaiah is maxing out the binary and doing 200,000 a month on the binary bonus 6 to 12 months from now, which he probably will be, I'll be making 20,000 a month on the coaching bonus just because I was the one who brought him in. But it goes even better. It goes another 5 generations deep. So say Isaiah brings his friend AJ on, and AJ maxes out the binary and is doing 200,000 a month. Isaiah is earning 20,000 a month off of him because that was his personal, so he's getting 10%. But that's my level 2, so I'm earning 5% off of AJ. So if AJ is out there doing 200,000 a month, Isaiah makes 20 grand a month off of it, I will make $10,000 a month off of it. And it goes to level 6. So if AJ brings someone on, who brings someone on, who brings someone on, who brings someone on, I'm getting 5% of all of their binary bonuses. Same with Isaiah, except he'll get that extra level underneath them because he's 1 level below me. So it's a very powerful bonus. You bring people in, you help them succeed, and you get paid based on how well they do. Okay, quick story about this bonus. One of our uplines brought in these distributors in Japan, and he signed up only 2 people. He never built his other leg, so he never really made a tier bonus, never made any binary bonus. He brought in 2 guys that ended up launching Japan and bringing in millions of volume. And he's been making 20 to 30,000 a month off of just the coaching bonus because the guys he brought in went and launched Japan and are making hundreds of thousands a month. But because the guy that brought them in directly, is getting the coaching bonus off of them, he's not even building his other leg or trying to recruit. He's literally retired just off of bringing those few people in who just took it and ran with it and launched Japan. He's making 20 to 30,000 a month off just coaching bonus. He has probably 70,000 people on one side of his business and maybe like 50 or 60 on his other side. So he hasn't really made any tier bonus, many fast start bonuses. He hasn't really made anything from anything but the coaching bonus, but he's very happy with that income he's making from the coaching bonus. So, you bring in an ace, a stud, a killer, you can benefit pretty well long-term off that coaching bonus. And then there are other products. So, OlyLife's here to be like the Apple of electronic wellness, as I've said several times, which means they'll do what Apple does, which is release new products every year. So when everyone in your business buys new products, you get more volume, you get more fast start, you get more tier bonuses, you get more binary bonuses. So it's very powerful that this company is going to come out with newer and cooler and more advanced products, because that's just going to allow our volume to continue to grow and multiply. And yeah, that's pretty much a simple breakdown of OlyLife, the product, the business, the technology. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. I recommend if you have any questions whatsoever, reach out to myself or Isaiah, whoever sent you this video, in the comments of this YouTube video below. But yeah, we're in the middle of starting our launch for the United States. We're going to push this to $1 billion in sales by the end of 2026, most likely. If they could do it in Asia in 2 years, we're going to do that in like half the time or less in America. So I definitely recommend to not sleep on this, to not hesitate. closed mouths don't get fed. So you guys want to take action, reach out to us. We'll help you take the next steps. We'll help you learn more. But yeah, with that, Isaiah, any parting words to end off this call? Oh, I think you're muted still. Hold on.
No, absolutely, man. I appreciate you for throwing down such an amazing presentation, bro. And man, welcome to all of the new people that see this and decide to jump on board with us for this journey. And I'll just leave it at that, y'all.
Right on, guys. Yeah, reach out to us ASAP and we'll talk to you soon.
Peace.